Teen Mom fans are blasting show alum Kailyn Lowry for her recently controversial podcast guest. She has no shame in who she invites on and what she talks about. Unfortunately, her latest guest caused a bit of a stir. Keep reading to find out more. Fans blast Kailyn Lowry. For controversial guest, Kailyn Lowry has always been very open about her life and does not seem to have any shame. She admitted she has a list of people she does not want at her funeral. More so, she talks about her relationships with her baby daddies and the highs and lows of dealing with them. Things have not been easy juggling 7 children and 4 fathers, but she has somehow found a system that works for her. To add to that, she built her dream home before she and Elijah Scott met and became serious. Since then, Kailyn bought 20 acres of land to accommodate her family and all of their needs. Kailyn Lowry. Though she was known for 16 and Pregnant and its spin-off, Teen Mom, she has really left her mark as a podcaster and author. She has had a variety of guests from all different spectrums, even having a book club. Kail had a podcast with her baby daddy, Joe Rivera's wife V, but they called it quits. She has coffee convos with Lindsay Chrisley and Barely Famous. With all of this, Kailyn decided to welcome in some intriguing guests, including newly published author Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Kailyn Lowry welcomed Gypsy to Barely Famous to chat with her about everything from her life as a Munchausen by proxy victim to prison and more. Additionally, they talked about Gypsy's new memoir, My Time to Stand, but not everyone was thrilled with her joining the pod. Many slammed Gypsy for being free while Nick Godejohn was behind bars. He got life and she is out. No, I'm sorry, this is not okay. Stop giving her attention. Nick was her boyfriend who she recruited to help murder her mother. Many Kailyn Lowry fans claimed they had lost respect for her after having Gypsy Rose Blanchard on Barely Famous. They also felt she did a horrible job of correcting Gypsy when she was wrong. Are you not embarrassed for doing this? And you not even correcting her contradictions. I really like Kail. But if she's willing to have Gypsy on her podcast, I have to question Kail's character. She coerced her boyfriend into murdering her own mother. Why are we giving her a platform at all? What a joke. You can do better, Kail. They also referred to Kailyn as a sellout, but she seemed very thrilled to have Gypsy sit next to her. Do you think it was wrong for Kailyn to have Gypsy as a guest, or is she a hot topic? Let us know in the comments below. In the ever-evolving landscape of celebrity podcasting, where controversy often translates directly to downloads, former Teen Mom star Kailyn Lowry has built an empire by embracing the unvarnished and the unconventional. From detailed dissections of her complex relationships with the fathers of her 7 children, to admitting she maintains a list of people banned from her funeral, Lowry has cultivated a brand rooted in a defiant lack of shame. However, her latest foray into provocative interviewing has sparked a firestorm of criticism that strikes at the very heart of a national conversation about victimhood, culpability, and the ethics of providing a platform. By welcoming newly published author Gypsy Rose Blanchard as a guest on her podcast, Barely Famous, Lowry has found herself at the center of a heated debate, with a significant portion of her own fanbase now questioning her character and judgment. The episode, which was promoted as a deep dive into Blanchard's life, covered the full spectrum of her harrowing story, from her childhood as a victim of Munchausen by proxy syndrome at the hands of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, to her time in prison and her current life as a free woman and author. The conversation touched upon Gypsy's new memoir, My Time to Stand, positioning the interview as a platform for the 32-year-old to tell her story in her own words. For Lowry, it was likely seen as a major get, a chance to interview one of the most discussed and polarizing figures in modern true crime. Yet, instead of being hailed as a journalistic coup, the decision has blown up in her face. The backlash was swift, severe, and concentrated in the comment sections of the very social media channels Lowry uses to promote her work. A vocal contingent of her followers expressed not just disappointment, but a sense of betrayal, accusing Lowry of being a sellout who prioritized clicks over conscience. The core of the criticism revolves around the perceived imbalance of justice in Blanchard's case. Many viewers pointed to the fate of Nicholas Godejohn, Blanchard's then-boyfriend, whom she recruited to carry out the 2015 murder of her mother. While Gypsy Rose, after pleading guilty to second-degree murder, was released on parole in December 2023 after serving 8 years, Godejohn was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He got life, and she is out. No, I'm sorry, this is not okay. Stop giving her attention, wrote one incensed fan, capturing the sentiment of those who believe Blanchard manipulated Godejohn and has since avoided a proportionate level of accountability. This perspective frames the podcast appearance not as a redemption narrative, but as a victory lap for someone who orchestrated a murder, while her accomplice, who is believed to be on the autism spectrum and whose defense argued he was manipulated, will die behind bars. Beyond the fundamental issue of platforming Blanchard, fans also took aim at Lowry's interviewing style, or lack thereof. Several comments criticized the host for what they perceived as a softball approach, failing to challenge Blanchard on the contradictions or the more uncomfortable aspects of her story. "Are you not embarrassed for doing this? And you not even correcting her contradictions?" one comment read, suggesting that the conversation devolved into a sympathetic monologue rather than a rigorous, journalistic inquiry. This specific episode has triggered a broader crisis of faith among longtime followers of the reality star turned podcaster. "I really like Kale, but if she's willing to have Gypsy on her podcast, I have to question Kale's character," another fan lamented. The sentiment underscores the delicate balance influencers like Lowry must maintain. Having built her career on relatability and a no-filter policy, this move is being interpreted by some as a step too far, a crossing of a moral event horizon where content, strategy completely overshadows ethical consideration. The Backlash highlights the intensely complicated and divisive nature of the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story. To some, she remains a symbol of ultimate survival, a woman who endured unimaginable medical abuse and saw no other escape from her tormentor. To others, she is a master manipulator who successfully weaponized her victimhood to enlist a vulnerable man to commit a brutal act, and is now capitalizing on her notoriety. By hosting Blanchard, Kailyn Lowry didn't just book a controversial guest. She willingly stepped into the center of this fraught cultural debate. While Lowry appeared very thrilled to have Blanchard on the show, the reaction from her audience serves as a stark reminder that in the age of audience-driven media, a host's choices are constantly on trial. For a personality like Lowry, who has meticulously constructed a multifaceted brand encompassing podcasts, books, and a sprawling new home on 20 acres, this controversy strikes at the foundation of her public persona, the trust of her fans. The question now is whether the storm will pass as just another ratings spike, or if this incident will leave a permanent stain on the empire she has worked so hard to build. In the court of public opinion, the verdict is still out, but the prosecution has made its case loud and clear.